In this section of the video, we're going to talk about the control blocks in Scratch. So the control blocks are used to make things more efficient, and they allow you to start kind of reacting to different situations in a program. So the very first thing we'll look at is we've looked at motion. So if I were to hit the green flag right now, I'm just going to move 10 steps every time I click it. But this can get tedious as I'm clicking and clicking and clicking. Instead, if I come in here and I wrap this repeat block around here, and I say, let's move 10 steps, and I want to do this 5 times, whatever is inside of here will happen 5 times. So this code reads, I'll move 10 steps, I'll wait a second, and then I'll do it again, and I'll do it 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the repeat block comes in handy in making this code a little bit more efficient. The next thing we could look at, and we'll talk a little bit about data in our next video, but I'm going to pull open a variable and I'm going to call it a timer. And we are going to set our timer to 0. And now let's say let's set our timer to 5. And we're going to make our timer count down. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to repeat this 5 times. And I want to change my timer by -1. So I'm going to be subtracting 1 every time this runs. And so that it's counting down in true seconds, I'm going to wait a second in between these. We'll put one more wait here. So notice, now these control blocks allow us to make a timer for our program. So we start at 5, we're going to count down, this repeats 5 times until we hit 0. So there's another efficient way we can make a timer in Scratch. Another really important feature of the control blocks are these conditionals. So this is read as an if-then-else loop. Now what we could do in here is we can react to different situations. So let's say our timer is, we can make this whatever, we'll leave it at 5. And I'm going to say if my timer is greater than 1, then I am going to count down to 0. Now this else means any situation where my timer isn't greater than 1. This is kind of the opposite here. So if my timer is not greater than 1, then we're going to say, I am going to count up. So in this situation, let's try a couple different ways. So right now our timer is set at 5, so it's going to be greater than 1. So if we were to look at this situation, we should say I'm going to count down to 0. Good. Now let's say we set our timer to -2 and run this. Now it's reading down here because our timer is not greater than 1, so it pops down to this else loop. Those are some of the main functions in the control blocks. There's a few other pieces you can look at in here, but good luck on your next activity.